Good morning, Trinidad and Tobago. This is News to 6 a.m. on News Power Digital. 3 weeks after President Christine Kangaloo called out 100 voluntary soldiers to allow the Defense Force to boost its support for the TNT Police Service in its fight against crime, investigators have arrested a regiment private assigned to be part of a joint patrol for his alleged involvement in a violent robbery in the Mairo family. The third was on temporary duty at the Mairo police station. His arrest came after one of the victims his army uniform. The report stated that the family, who owns a hardware, was at home in Mafeking village around 4:45 p.m. when a heavily tinted black SUV with blue swivel lights pulled up. 6 men, 1 in plain clothing, 2 in police tactical wear, and 3 in army uniforms got out of the SUV. They possessed firearms. The men approached the house and told the 47-year-old homeowner they were investigating a report of a house fire and came for surveillance footage. The homeowner allowed the men inside where his wife and sons were. The men then announced the robbery and bound the family's hand and feet before robbing them of gold, jewelry, cash, mobile phones, and their digital video recorder valued at $67,400. They then left in the SUV. The family contacted the Mairo CID, and responding officers took them to the Mairo District Health Facility for treatment. They subsequently went to the state. Continuing. The Commission of Inquiry into the Paria diving tragedy will convene a virtual sitting on Wednesday, November 29th at 2 p.m. Is on track to deliver a report by his new November 30th deadline. The source also sought to allay any concerns this sitting was expected to be requested for an announcement of another delay. Chairman Jerome Lynch, King's Counsel, has asked for several extensions before submitting his final report. Its original deadline was supposed to be Easter and was pushed back to August and then now November 30th. The United National Congress says it will contest all 41 seats in the next general election. The party says not for the election will be open by mid-December this year. And the next general election is due in 2025. Political leader of the UNC, Kamala Pasambi Sessa, said on Monday Night Court, "As we move into an election year, I serve notice tonight the UNC will be opening nominations for every single constituency." Pasambi Sessa sounded off as she addressed the party, starting a series of cottage meetings in Couva South on Monday night. Meanwhile, the opposition leader says that she remains willing and able to meet with Prime Minister Dr. Keith Rowley to talk about the crime crisis plaguing the country. Speaking at the UNC's meeting on Monday, Mrs. Pasambi says that she does not understand why Dr. Rowley come to the table between the government and the opposition. The Trinidad and Tobago Electricity Commission is assuring it has sufficient capacity to cover the load during the Trinidad Generation Unlimited schedule planned shutdown on Saturday to Sunday. The shutdown is scheduled to facilitate upgrade work. It's expected to take place during the hours of 10 p.m. Saturday to 9 a.m. Sunday. TNTEC says its 2 other independent power producers, PowerGen and Contour Global Trinity Power, have and will make available the required capacity to satisfy the expected load demand on the island during those hours. National men's senior football team coach Angus Eve admits having players from various clubs and trying to get them to form a synergy could be difficult. He says staying focused is vital to ensure the players are on the same level of understanding in terms of football style and play, which will be executed on the team. Trinidad and Tobago is now ranked at 98th in the FIFA ranking. The team moved from 104 in 2021. Speaking yesterday on Power 102's Power Digital show, Mr. Eve gave details as to what happens at the international level as clubs some unique ways to bond and excel in their play and gain a better knowledge of each other. The team was victorious against the USA this past weekend and came from behind to win 2-1. The Air Transport Association of America expects more than 49 million Americans to travel by car for Thanksgiving this year. It attributes this in part to gas prices that are 37 cents cheaper than this time last year. According to an AAA spokesman, Andrew Gross, it saves drivers about $5 each time they fill their tank. And finally, former West Indies cricket captain Dwayne Bravo has condemned the West Indies cricket selectors for snubbing his brother, Red Force captain Darren Bravo. The latter was not named in the Windies squad for next month's one-day international home series against England, despite leading TNT to the CG United Super 50 Club title earlier this month. Darren, 34, gave selectors much to think about, with the highest score in the tournament, 139 not out, and the most runs, 416. He also had the second highest average of 83.20. The Santa Cruz native was also among the leading batsmen in the 2022 edition, gathering 240 runs at an average of 48, highest score 70. His elder brother, who was retired from international cricket, took to Instagram on Monday to share his disappointment. And that is news to 6 a.m. right here on News Power Digital. We have major news coming your way at 7 a.m. Good morning.
Update and credible. Power 102 Digital.
Oh, come on. I know you can hear me. Mike. What day is it, Mike?
What day?
Guess what today is?
It's hump day.
Hump Day Wednesday, the 22nd day of November. Good morning, neighbors. Thank you so much for joining us on the Power Breakfast Show this morning. Of course, full cast in. We just heard from Paul Richards. We'll hear from Wendell Stephen. We've got Richard Raghu Singh. We got Ruben in the background. My name is Steve Khan. All right. Of course, thank you so much for joining us on the Power Breakfast Show on Power 102 Digital. Let's get straight into the WTs, see what is happening, weather and traffic-wise. Yeah. Traffic has started up already through Santa Rosa. You've got some traffic approaching Piaco, Trinidad City to Yui, and then from Valsain to pretty much El Socorro. Slow going, and then before Port of Spain by swim call, you'll get some traffic. It's starting to build up in Amaraval for those leaving Santa Cruz and so on. You're beginning to build up. The Kelly Village is beginning to build as well. Head down south, see what's happening down there. Nothing to tell you about. Rivulet Road, nothing, but you got traffic from Chase Village to Sugar Gornis. And of course, that main road is beginning to build. Charlieville towards the interchange. You've got some volume. Nothing really to tell you on the Eastern Main Road, just by Arima Old Road and going through by McCoy as you head westbound. You've got some traffic. It is 24 degrees at Piaco International Airport, same in a beautiful sister Isle of Tobago, same as 24. The weather for today, partly cloudy spells accompanied by occasional showers will likely interrupt sunshine. There's also the low 30% chance of that odd shower would become heavy. Mostly settled evening. All right, of course, there is a public warning in effect. Hazardous seas alert. Number 3, yellow level is in effect. It has warmed up in Toronto in comparison to the weekend. It is 6 degrees in Toronto. Miami, you're at 24. Orlando, 20. New York, 13. Atlanta, 12. London, 7. Tampa, 22. Washington, D.C., you're double digits at 10. And Los Angeles, California, where our caller is, it is 14 degrees. All right, before I throw it across the guys, let's see who sent us hellos via WhatsApp, Facebook, and YouTube. Let's start off with YouTube and Facebook. On YouTube, we've got Anthony Tinto out in Canada, Oliver Man Warren, Doreen Pierre, Carol Guevara, it's hump day, it is. Rena Buru Jennings, Wayne B. in Covington, Georgia, Carol Joseph, Brenda Isaac, Dennis Prasad, Boy Bidi. Good morning to you, boy. Watching us on YouTube from Davie, Ingrid Adams, it is hump day, Maria Celia, Ambrose Blah, good morning. And Maria Celia is saying good morning, and to my brother Garth out in Baltimore. And let's check WhatsApp. You two can check it out at 318-1021. Let's see. I've got Oliver, and I've got Michael from London, England, across the pond on WhatsApp. Good morning. Sankofa just snuck in there. So good morning to you. And you say good morning, good night to the guys. Good morning, gentlemen. Ray just popped in as well. Morning, Ray.
Morning, everyone.
Paul, morning, Steve, morning, Richard, morning, Trinidad and Tobago.
Yeah, morning, Wendell. What's happening?
Listeners.
Morning, Paul.
Good morning, everyone. Good Wednesday morning to you. It's a nice, cool morning in Trinidad and Tobago. Well,
It
seems like
is.
some of the cold weather is blowing down here.
I think it is. I actually went outside before I got up a little earlier than normal and went outside to feed my fishes, and it's cold outside.
It's difficult because I was very frisky this morning, and Zena kept pulling me back into the bed. I almost didn't make it.
Oh dear Lord! And you went underneath that PNM blanket, boy?
No, she had to take it out of the bed. She had to take it out of the bed. We have an arrangement. Once I come into the house, she has to fold it and put it away. Yeah.
What color blanket you gonna get? Yeah.
She's a neutral white blanket.
You're one neutral.
You understand? Any other color might get me in trouble.
I would have gone multicolored if I were you.
No. She doesn't like distractions. No, so she knows.
How you make out with all them pigs in them?
I roasted one.
You roasted one. Oh Lord, we start already.
I don't remember seeing any chickens in that yard.
You can roast pigs too.
Okay.
You never eat a roast pork?
Of course I have.
Don't you love roast pork?
Well, yeah, I'm not a big pork lover, but I'm not a
love my pork
lover. But
so
you know what I find myself
where you going? Forget them fellas. Where you going? Strongy gone. Where you going? So I have to go to work, see. Come on, behave yourself.
I eat a lot of barbecue pork, and you know who was, I think, the best? El Pecos. El Pecos have a barbecue pork that is barbecue pigtail, I should say. That is just about the best I've ever eaten.
Zena has a good barbecue pigtail too.
Oh, she does? Okay. I would thought you would be the one walking with the pigtail.
No.
Anyway, let me say
I walk with the rooster.
Let me Lord, poor Zena. The woman ears ringing already for the morning.
Oh, her ears rang. Good morning, everyone.
Let me do my birthday greetings, sir. Diane Lewis, happy birthday. Akinyike Brown, Michelle Thompson, Rihanna Ward, Sonia Mohan Singh, Sheldon Barron was yesterday. And one of our greatest fans, his birthday and wedding anniversary was yesterday. Johnson Noel. Happy belated birthday greetings, Mr. Noel. He listens to us all the time, and he celebrated his birthday yesterday and his wedding anniversary. So special greetings to him and his darling wife. I think, did he send me his wife's name? Good morning, Mr. Noel. I'm sure that you're listening already, but I did wish you happy birthday on WhatsApp yesterday, but I know that you're an ardent fan of the breakfast show. So where did your greeting go, boy? All right, here it is. Right, his wife, well, he just said Mrs. Noel. 36th wedding anniversary was yesterday.
Very good.
Happy anniversary and belated birthday. All right. Go ahead, Paul. I know you're eager to play that video tonight.
I was very happy when you shared it, and I think we had this up. I'm such a jovial manner this morning that I thought we'd continue. Volume, because if you continue playing it, we'll get trouble off YouTube.
No, but but that is in front of Central Bank, right?
Mm-hmm.
So is that the whole promenade?
No, it's in front of Central Bank only.
Well, they start off. They normally start somewhere. They can't possibly do everything in one night.
Why?
No.
Why?
To wrap all those trees, Paul, along that promenade?
Get more people.
Is one person doing it?
It looks great, though. I mean, beautiful.
Yeah.
That's the Parliament City Corporation.
I'm sure.
You see when you get a good mayor?
No, but last time under Mayor Martinez it happened, man. Not
I
fair.
didn't say anything. Why you got to call name?
But I'm telling you, you
Oh,
say
yeah.
you
Entry and no terraform grass anymore.
Who could forget that Christmas tree?
When you get a good mayor, I'm saying it.
Yeah, when you get a good mayor, it could have implied he was a good mayor too if he did it before.
Okay, all right.
You also have a negative connotation where the gentleman is concerned,
Well, we know that.
and not unwarrantedly so.
No, it all stemmed from one big steel Christmas tree.
No, it's done from an inactive. I'm going to say important, but I won't.
No, they selected a poor individual.
I didn't think he was a good man. I'll say it plainly. I've said it over and over again.
I think everybody said it.
I thought he was a picture taken
I
man.
thought we going with good news. I thought we going with cheering
Happy
news.
Merry Christmas, everybody. All right, yeah, all right, okay.
Lord,
All right.
dear Lord.
If you bring it up, you never call the name.
Me? I didn't bring it up. You.
Anyway, congratulations to the Parliament City Corporation. They started decorating the promenade. We're very happy to see that. It adds to the Christmas cheer and the general good mood of the country.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
I saw the mayor of Arima also too featured on the news last night. Giving a $10,000 donation to
Wake up.
Is it Arima boys?
No, he's still sleeping.
Some school he was at. He was there with Ashton Ford, former mayor, and the principal and a school child. He donated $10,000. So
Very good, excellent.
Yeah,
good to see him up and about.
Yeah, and I think also too, just the young man from Tunapuna Piako has been featuring a lot because they are doing their celebrations. Josiah Austin, I'm really impressed with Josiah.
Do you have a contact with Josiah Austin, Wendell?
I can't get it. I'm sure I have it, but if I don't have it, I know I can get it right away for you.
I appreciate that.
Yeah. All right, let me send for it.
So good morning, everyone. So we shared some good news to start. So let's start with the fun news now.
The fun news.
A soul deer, member of the TT Defense Force.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you were saying that during the news, but you had internet problems, so half the story we didn't get. So go ahead with it.
I mean, you had internet problems.
Well, I don't know. Whatever is coming up on the board here, we didn't get half of it. It cut off a few times.
37-year-old member of the TT Defense Force attached to the commuter base who was on temporary duty at the Mayara police station was arrested after one of his victims, a member of a family in Mafeking village, were robbed after a heavily tinted SUV pulled up with 6 men, one in plain clothing, 2 in police tactical wear, 3 in army uniforms, got out with firearms and told the family that they came for surveillance footage. The family obliged the gentleman of the house, which also contained his wife and son, allowed them in, and they announced a hold-up and robbed them of $67,400 worth of jewelry, cash, mobile phones, and the digital video recorder. When the family went to the Mayara CID to give the report, the youths stand up there in uniform. Say, hey, he's one of the men.
The man.
I wish I were joking.
They went to rob a family in
allegedly
tactical wear.
Mayaro.
Tactical wear, army uniforms, and police tactical wear. And they come up with a black SUV with blue lights.
And
blue
he's actually
lights.
a serving member of the TTDF.
Which means the others may have also been serving members.
My goodness.
Who do you trust?
So if a black car put up in front of your house and with blue lights and people with police uniform and army uniform jump out, you supposed to doubt that now and resist the orders of police in uniform accompanied by army men? That's what you're saying?
Yeah, pretty much.
That's what we're saying? No, I can't let nobody become interest value.
Well, it's not the first time it has happened.
It wouldn't
Well,
be the
if
last.
the story is completely accurate, I don't know what. Again,
Yeah. Yeah, it really is a scary times we are in.
I don't know what. I don't know what to say.
Yeah.
You understand? Because
Yeah.
I don't think anybody will doubt the veracity, the realness, the authenticity of a black car with blue swivel lights and people in police tactical uniform and army gear come out with guns and ask you kindly, we've come for surveillance footage. Will you allow us inside? You're supposed to put on more locks now.
Is that what they did? They went to ask for surveillance.
They didn't break down. They came to say they came for surveillance footage. I guess they must have said they were investigating some crime and your footage may come in as evidence. And the man obliged. And when they get inside, he said, you're going to get robbed now. And they bound their hands and feet. And of course, ransack and rob them of jewelry, cash, and mobile phones, and the digital video recorder. Because like many people, in addition to having cameras outside, some people have cameras inside the house, which is a smart thing to do.
Yep, I have always told people do that. I've always advised
Particularly
people.
in the main thoroughfare of the house.
Mm-hmm.
You understand? I don't know what to say anymore.
Yep. And
So
yes,
I wonder if he gonna fall off a chair. You know, they're gonna squeeze his family jewels.
who gonna do that? His batch? His
Must
colleague?
be, I don't know. We don't know. Well, they're looking for information on who were his accomplices. It's not crazy. And they went in the 4:55 in the afternoon, almost 5 o'clock in the afternoon. Almost hot sun. So you ain't thinking, and the family owns the hardware. You ain't thinking in the middle of the afternoon that this is no bandits, right? Because they put up in daylight. 5 o'clock is daylight still.
Yeah.
And they put up in a black car with blue lights, not out of the ordinary, and people with uniforms, both TT Defense Force and police pull up. And so you are obliged, you are cooperating with law enforcement, not so?
Naturally.
As you should do. I hear Mrs. Christopher here would talk about this, or the chief of defense staff. What are we to do, Mrs. Harewood Christopher? And where's the chief of defense staff? I just changed somebody. I don't know his name.
Is Daryl Daniel, I think.
Daniel or Dindial?
No, Dindial is CPO. Okay. Daniel is
Daniel. Yeah. I didn't hear this say nothing about this. What are we supposed to do, boys and madam? What are we supposed to do? Are we supposed to not worry about this? I hope they offering the family protection, and that's what I will say. I hope the families under some sort of protection.
I hope so too.
King's Counsel Jerome Lynch is going to have one more virtual sitting of the Commission of Inquiry. He's being very thorough, I'll tell you that. For anyone with any information you want to come forward, you can come forward. He said it didn't expect it to last more than an hour. Is the final sitting before they deliver the final report on November 30th.
Okay.
Right? I have an interview
next week Friday,
with
next week Thursday.
Christopher Boudram standing by to play the day before that report come out.
Okay.
Which was done 4 weeks ago.
Okay, all right. A pre-recorded interview.
Where, let me tell you, I pray for that man's well-being. He's a shattered man.
Yeah.
He's a shattered man.
He's gonna be traumatized for life,
for the rest of his life. And when you hear how graphically he speaks about being in that pipeline and talking to his colleagues, at one point saying, he said he's going to look for help. and begging, and they're begging him and hold on to his leg, and they want to let go, don't leave us. It is heartbreaking.
Mm.
And he left them to go for help, was successful in coming out, begged people to go back and save them because they're alive. He said he heard voices of all but one person.
Mm-hmm.
And he told him if he could be that injured, because he was badly injured also, for when they were all sucked into the pipe, and make it out, he's telling them that they're alive. Subsequent information from the autopsy reports indicated the men did last some time.
Mm.
You understand? I don't know. I said, in my opinion, it probably go to court. In my opinion, this is not about if, this is about how much.
Yeah.
You understand?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
It's not about if for the families. It's about how much.
And when.
And when.
Mm-hmm.
That is all a court case will be about where this is concerned.
Yeah.
You understand?
I don't know if these traumatic situations, I don't know if you guys saw the video of the pleasure craft, is a tour boat capsizing in the Bahamas.
And people put on life jackets and things.
I was one of them who was saying my Our Father and going, I don't know how I would have dealt with a situation like that.
Our Father. I didn't see any reports of deaths.
No, I didn't see any.
Apparently there was one, a 74-year-old gentleman.
And I saw children, all range of human men, women, older people, younger people, So I think all things concerned with that, they did it quite well to preserve life.
Yeah, well, and it was an excursion from a cruise ship.
Because everyone had on a life jacket that I saw.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, they had to put on because it was sufficient enough time because before the vessel capsized so that they could all put on life vests. And somebody had the presence of mind to be taping.
Yeah.
But that was a scary situation. Do you see why I stay away from boats and from water?
I'm not a boat lover myself.
Sure.
You always have to respect the sea, even on the beaches.
I find the sea is quite vast, and the very big animals down there with a lot of teeth and tentacles.
Yep.
So I am not, no. See this cruise thing and this, no. I went on the boat to Tobago once.
Really?
Put me in the sky anytime.
Yep. I am that way too.
You understand? Put me in the sky. If it could be for 3 minutes, it could be for 14 hours. Put me in the sky.
It took a lot out of me to even go on a cruise ship. And I was very specific when we were booking it that I want to be at a part of the ship where I don't even feel that you're on the ship. So they advise go and in between deck 6 and 8 or somewhere there, stay somewhere there where you don't feel like you're on a ship.
What are you saying? You don't like the motion of the ocean?
No, I don't. I like
you don't like the boat rocking?
Nope, I create my own
motion. You like the boat to stay still?
I create my own motion.
But if you're creating enough motion, the boat will rock. We're getting to the bottom of your problems, that we understanding your problems more and more every day. How can you go on a ship and the ship not boat rock undulating?
Not me. No, I'm just saying that is what it took for me to actually go on that cruise. I had to be reassured that it would be comfortable, that you wouldn't know you're on a ship. All these other things. Of course.
The cruise is fantastic. It's wonderful. You don't even know you're on a boat. The food, the drink, the entertainment. No, but
I enjoyed it. I have to tell you, I enjoyed it. You understand?
Drop me in a mall or a museum any day or a bookstore, and I'll be fine.
Listen, on the big cruise ships, you really don't feel anything unless the water is extreme.
I don't care. You go up on the deck, you see the sea. I don't need to be in it. No.
The only scary part about being on a cruise is when you look out nighttime and you just look out and all you see is this black water. That is and then it goes in your mind, suppose I fall overboard. Nobody really seeing you.
No, I don't do those boat parties.
I don't like boat rides either.
I don't.
Yeah, I don't like boat rides.
I've done one or two. I did reggae ride, but and I've done one or two others.
I used to go to the Jolly Roger a long time, but even that I didn't enjoy too much.
But that was almost like the first set of boat cruises that you saw.
I didn't enjoy it either. Anyway,
and then it sank right there with the dock.
National Congress says it will contest all 41 seats in the next general election. Party
Yeah,
says
but did you get
nominations
it
will be
wrong?
open.
Mrs. Prasad Bisesa, I heard her saying elections next year.
No, she said
No, she said next year.
maybe she misspoke. Oh gosh, maybe she misspoke. What's the big deal? This year almost done anyway, so it could be next year. 12 months from now, it could be. You understand? We don't know.
You just sound like an attorney at law for Mrs. Prasad Bisesa sometimes, so boy.
Boy, it's just a day.
One thing Mrs. Prasad Bisesa don't need is attorneys at law. If there's one thing the UNC needs an additional Bush attorney at law.
Well, probably they need a good one.
Okay? That is one thing they don't need.
No, but how? I mean, Colin, she trying to forestall something.
Forestall what?
I don't know. That is a very strange call.
You missed the point.
What?
They're going out early. That's all right. Nothing wrong with that.
Nah, she trying to get rid of
what
somebody.
What was the big story in that to me?
Or she trying to break from herself getting kicked out, because there are still calls for her to go. There are those calls coming.
And now you sound like a attorney for the PLM. Now you sound like an attorney for the PLM.
I don't have to defend.
The big story in that is that they're actually going to contest all 41 seats and not enter into any accommodation. That is the big story to me out of that.
Mm-hmm.
And you believe that?
Well, we will see what he said.
And let's say good morning, good to Kingsley.
Nobody in Tobago.
So I don't know what. Good morning to Gary Griffith, who I know was clearly hoping for an accommodation of some sort.
Unless it's Gary going on contest Tobago East.
Under UNC banner?
Yeah.
Let me tell you something, Wendell. I would not doubt that's a possibility.
And Philip
I wouldn't doubt that either.
Tobago West.
No, Philip is over.
Philip is over?
You want
to lay bets on that one?
No, I don't.
Okay.
I work hard for the money. I don't want to straight away. Okay. Philip, in my opinion, Philip is just taking a rest so he could pay off some of them court cases.
Yeah.
That's all it is.
He has some bills to pay.
He can't afford to run him out no more right now because he owe money he can't pay right now. And them they'll $5 $10 donation ain't coming no more.
No.
And whoever would have invested, first of all, tell themselves, this is really bad money we're spending here. Okay? So they stop spending money, they cut down the internet feed, and they must be trying to sell t-shirts and all kind of thing now. And how about to raise money?
They need to move that big banner by Victoria Square, though.
Why?
Philip will fix it. Philip will fix what? What he fixing?
He fixing Colin bank account. He fixing Makila bank account. He fixing
Andrew Gabriel.
Andrew Gabriel bank account. I be fixing.
He fixing that.
I be fixing. He will fix that. You see, as we told him when we had him on during the Vanuatu local government election, you cannot just say things because you feel you hear them.
Mm-hmm.
So when you all chastising me for trying to be accurate and being niggling about little things.
No, we don't chastise you, Paul. Come on. You don't chastise.
You just call me a bush lawyer.
Well, no. I didn't call you a bush lawyer. I said you come across like KPB's biggest defender, lawyer on this program sometimes.
Yeah, but did you all see the video? Did you all see the video of long-time activist for the UNC, Kingsley, being kicked out?
Yeah, that video just come across like too much punching was sharing by that office that day. That's how that video come across. That just seemed like a drunken brawl by some bar. But then when we realize it's by Rudy embarrassing office, I say, well, that answers everything right there. You got quiet again?
Because you'll pay money by yourself. Because you'll pay money by yourself.
But that is how that video came across, like a drunken
I didn't see the video, so I can't comment on it.
I sent it for you. I sent it for you. You need to come back in the breakfast group, you know. You have me sending things all over the place. Now, nothing to upset you again. The days of me upsetting people done. And it's Ruben that share most of this stuff now.
That's why I stay out.
Nah, Ruben videos are decent ones.
Ruben is benign most of the time.
Yeah.
So Dwayne Bravo is upset that West Indies and picky brother, Darren Bravo.
I support it. I support him in that. What is
Well, I don't know how. I'm not a cricket aficionado. Let me put the proviso. You all know I don't follow cricket. I'm not a cricket fan. I support the West Indies because I support anything Trinidad and Tobago, right? On principle. But I'm not a cricket fan. But I will support the West Indies and I want them to cut everybody tail, right? For obvious reasons. We bias.
Right.
We don't care. We bias. And I don't know, reading this young man's tally, highest score in the tournament in the TT, the CG United Super 50 title this month. 139 not out, most runs 416, highest average 83.2. In the 2020 edition, he gathered 240 runs, an average of 48, and the highest score of 71. I mean, on what basis does the West Indies pick team to lose?
Well, and listen, West Indies selectors has just upset me. And you see why people criticize Desmond Haynes? Whilst Desmond Haynes was an excellent, one of the best opening batsmen that West Indies ever had, he is not doing a good job as selector. How you could not pick Darren Bravo? And the justification they given that I read is based on his age. And you're picking people who may just be younger than him. He's what, 30, 34, 36 or something like that?
That prohibits him from being on the team. He's too young or he's too old or something.
That's what they're saying. But the criteria for getting selected was based on this tournament that just went.
The reason given for not selecting him was he's too young?
Too old.
He's too old at 34?
I think he's 36.
He's too old at 36 despite his track record and performance?
Yeah. Now, Darren Bravo has not had the best record when he playing Test cricket. But he is still one of the best batsmen in the West Indies. So if you pick it, you imagine you bringing back people like Dorridge. Imagine people like Hetmeyer. And
says Darren Bravo has not been consistent. Is that true? I don't know.
In Test cricket, he has not been as consistent as his talent warrants. Okay, we can agree with that. But you're bringing back people. You're putting people in that Test side who really shouldn't even be playing among the Timari in the Savannah. And if anybody know playing cricket in Savannah is Timari. You bend down to pick up a ball, pick her in your hand. Them ain't supposed to be in that kind of cricket. Right? And you leaving out people who have natural talent like Darren Bravo.
That could be our question. Do you agree with Darren Bravo being omitted from the West Indies team?
He proved his form in that last series there. Oh gosh, come on, man.
Another person saying he's not been consistent. You also say he's not consistent in Test cricket.
But
then we could also say the whole damn West Indies team has been consistent in Test cricket.
Thank you.
So what? So what's the rationale?
Yeah, for picking Hetmeyer and Dorridge and.
Anyway, me and a cricket expert, so I don't know.
Why wouldn't Joshua De Silva be part of that team? Do you bring back Shane Dorridge so we can keep what? For who? Ahead of Joshua De Silva? They're mad. West Indies mad.
Well, then they mean you know. Good morning, Raghubar Singh.
What's that?
Save me. They're talking cricket. Save me.
Oh, okay. I realized I heard the passion in Wendell's voice.
I am not a cricket. I don't know anything about cricket.
Thanks, Carol. He's 34. You're right. And the argument is he will be 37 at that time. And somebody pointed out is Wendy and James, I just saw. Tahir is 43 years old and watch a Tahir play cricket. Huh? Tahir who skipper the Amazon Warriors, Ghana Amazon Warriors. Huh?
Well, so, when if they get their tail cut, people have a lot to say.
Well, I just tired sometimes of West. I mean, I'll support them. You know, I'll watch the cricket. I'll hope they win. But I just tired of the stupidness that has happened in West Indies cricket sometimes with this selection.
Okay. Good morning, Trinidad and Tobago. 19 before 7 o'clock.
Morning, Gregory Boyer. I was by you yesterday. I didn't see you.
Just by who?
I was by Gregory Boyer yesterday.
Oh, okay.
Do you have newspapers, Roger Bassing?
No, sorry, I don't. Not today.
Okay, let's go to the newspapers. For today, the 22nd of November, 2023. Let's start with the Express. Iowa responds today to Happy People Backlash. Moving on. Long watery troops. Okay, you get your attention, your 5 minutes of fame. Hopefully you put out a decent song and put people hand in the air. All right. Knock yourself out. Dad, shot woman faced years of abuse. Not surprising. When men respond like that, it's because they feel they own the woman. And I'm not surprised that a woman faced years of abuse. That's why she divorced him. Kamala still willing to talk to Rowley on crime. Victim comes to station to make report, finds behind desk. One of the suspects sitting behind a desk, waiting to take the report. Imagine that. Parishioners split as church imposes dress code.
What?
The St. Anthony's, I'm going into the story for you. By Carlin Kisoon. They have a sign, St. Anthony's Parish dress code for mass and church events. Sleeveless and plunging necklines, cross. Bareback, cross. Spaghetti straps and tank tops, cross. Tube tops, cross. Skirts and skimpy shorts, cross. Long waist pants, cross. Jersey shorts and shorts, cross. Cap, cross. Slippers, cross. The decision by the St. Anthony's Roman Catholic Church to impose a dress code banning naked shoulders, legs, cleavage has got parishioners talking and taking sides. The dress code was imposed to the St. Anthony's Church Pretty Valley Facebook page on November 6th, citing proper and the proper clothing within sacred halls. That's the question.
Catholicism at its best.
That is well, I'm going
That is the church. That is the church.
to hush my mouth.
That's a real stush. That's a real stush, eh?
Education system failing boys and men. Sources Dr. Eastman's peace deal still on the table. The peace deal being negotiated between the warring Sikhs and Rasta City gangs is still firmly on the table, according to police sources. Why the police getting in? I don't understand anyway. I don't know. I don't understand that. Moving to the news day for today, a picture of the late mother of Finance Minister Colm Imber. Dr. Maura Imber is laid to rest. May she rest in peace. Condolences to the family. Caribbean Airlines explores partnership with Saudi Arabia. Murdered Venezuelan family want justice. UNC to contest all 41 constituencies in 2025. GE. Soldier held for Mayara robbery. Father of crossing shooting victim. Men must walk away from conflict. Parry inquiry on target for November 30th deadline. Communication Workers Union appoints new board. Apparently, we would not be calling Clyde Eller anymore. Senate debates miscellaneous bill on November 24th. That's Friday. And Health Minister, diabetics not changing lifestyles or taking medication. Let's move to the Guardian for today. Law enforcement officer accused of robbing family. Victim ID solely reporting for joint patrol duty at station. Chaos at crossing. Jacqueline Charles is new education PS. Dad of woman shot by ex-husband. Men need to walk away from failed relationships. Man killed outside St. Augustine business place. Christmas chair comes to La Romaine. COE into para tragedy to hold sitting again. And suicide prevention link most visited on mental health website. Brown, no decision to suspend ties with Israel. So those are some of the trending stories in your newspapers for today, November 22nd, 2023. That makes it, 28 or 27 days to Christmas?
Yeah. Well, I could just...
to Christmas. 33 days to Christmas.
Men and women need to walk away from failed relationships. You're divorced.
Yeah.
Men and women need to walk away from failed relationships. But You know, Paul, I'm going to finish say what you started to say yesterday and didn't want to say. But I think you hinted to say it should have happened in reverse. Oh God, just if you fed up with life, what are you taking other people's life for? You go your way.
Yeah.
Go your way. You understand? If you had enough and you frustrated, you can't take it. You can't live alone. You can't this, you can't that.
Why I stopped? Because I don't want me or us to be coming across in any way, form, or fashion, despite the frustration of the situation, as endorsing suicide.
I hear you, but
And I think that's a responsible stance to take. And I understand because I felt the same way when I hear of people taking people's lives and then taking their own. My immediate reaction out of frustration is do the reverse, but I can't do that because it will be irresponsible to endorse suicide in any way possible.
I hear you, but guess what? That man, I mean, I don't know what was the situation in that home or whatever, but okay, you follow this lady around because I thought
was a violent abuser for years.
The story came out that I thought when the story first came out, I thought she was working there and he went to her job site. Not knowing he followed her there, she went to do business there. Right? And then you hijack a car and kill a passenger in the car.
Yeah.
The young man was sitting in the back seat, you know, as a passenger, you know.
Clearly unstable.
No, man. Come on.
Yeah.
Anyway, what will be the question this morning?
Why you guys come up with that? Got a lot of messages to read. Good morning to Ray out in West Palm Beach, Florida. Siobhan Wilson, good morning. CJ out in New York. Mrs. R. Mo Gaines, Karen Yipnow, Carol Guevara, Alistair Hart, good morning to you. Trini Bree, good morning. Ewart Rajpal, good morning. Beauty Culture, Wendy and James, Terrence Brown, Gregory Bauer, good morning. Ms. Maloney Dudu, good morning. Showin Kerr, good morning to you. On WhatsApp, we have GNC Auto Security. We have Sergio, good morning to you. We have Sankofa, and we have Chris Toussaint locked on in Washington, D.C.
Which one is St. Anthony's Roman Catholic? That's the one in Westmoreland, or the one in by Marval? Westmoreland.
Down by
that's the Stush one.
Yeah, that is our real Stush church. Trust me.
So the questions this morning can be: one, do you agree with the St. Anthony's Roman Catholic Church imposing a dress code banning naked shoulders, legs, and cleavage? Or two, do you agree with the omission of Darren Bravo from the West Indies team?
I like Darren.
Anyone, I'm cool. I'm good with anyone actually.
Which we'll choose to go with.
I'm good with anyone actually.
But I need to type.
Let Richard decide.
Me?
Catholic Church involved? You really like Catholic Church? Being a good Catholic.
Rend your hearts and not your garments.
That's a good way to phrase the poll too. You understand? Should the Catholic Church be concerned about your heart and not your garment?
Rend your heart, not your garment. It's fundamental.
I like you doing Bravo issue.
You may not get as much people voting on the Bravo issue as you get on the church issue.
All right. Do you agree?
All right. While you all do that, let me give the results of our poll from yesterday. Of course, yesterday we asked you, do you think the Prime Minister and the opposition leader, Mrs. Kamala Prasad-Bisasa, should meet one-on-one to talk about crime solutions? That was our poll yesterday. Final results after this.
This is the season of giving, and you can give the holiday happiness to your loved ones. Send and receive more with the MoneyGram. Share the joy with your loved ones and make Christmas extra special this year. With every MoneyGram transfer, this Christmas you have the chance to win a cash voucher. Share the joy of the season with your loved ones. Visit any MoneyGram agent location or Massey stores nationwide for details. And check our Facebook and Instagram page. This promotion has been approved by the NLCB.
Persons with disabilities should have the same rights and access to services and opportunities as every other citizen in Trinidad and Tobago. But they do not, and it's time for change.
The Law Association of Trinidad and Tobago Subcommittee on Human Rights Working Group on Disability Rights is hosting a series of consultations titled Law and Disability Rights.
Saturday, 25th November, Naparima Girls Auditorium, San Fernando.
And Saturday, 2nd December, Hillview College Auditorium, El Dorado Road, Tunapuna, 2 to 5 p.m.
Come share your important views on what you think laws that protect the rights of persons with disabilities in Trinidad and Tobago should look like, and what must be included in that law to protect your rights.
The Law and Disability Rights Public Consultations, Saturday, 25th November, Naparima Girls Auditorium, San Fernando, and Saturday, 2nd December, Hillview College Auditorium, El Dorado Road, Tunapuna, 2 to 5 p.m.
Come share your perspective and contribute to crafting comprehensive laws to protect the rights of persons with disabilities in Trinidad and Tobago.
All right, thank you so much. Do you think the Prime Minister and the opposition leaders should meet one-on-one to talk about crime solutions? That is our poll yesterday. Our final results, 73%, 73 said yes. All right, this morning's poll, do you agree with the St. Anthony's Roman Catholic Church's imposition of a dress code banning naked shoulders, legs, and cleavage? That will be such an empty church. That's our poll this morning. 222-8255, toll-free North Americans, 866-525-1099. Messages on Facebook and on YouTube. Yes or no, and of course on WhatsApp at 318-1021. All right.
I always thought Jesus Christ
saying yes to the poll. I got Mrs. R. Certainly would not be able to walk into that church saying, yes, I agree. Wendy and James, she says on Montcoco Road, Pity Valley. Okay.
Yeah. That's in the back there.
Let's see. I got.
I know that's wrong by my friend Nick. I know this.
Sunny San Fernando saying yes to the poll. Thank you, Sunny San Fernando.
So to the 28255.
Good morning to you.
Good morning,
North Americans.
I said no.
You say no. Thank you.
North Americans, 866-525-1099. People can vote via WhatsApp.
222-8255, toll-free North Americans, 866-525-1099. That's a toll-free number. Gregory Bauer is saying no to the poll.
Steve, you hearing me?
All right. I've got Miss Bonnie West saying yes to the poll. She says the scripture, render your heart and not your garments. Don't relate to the dress code. We always take it out of context. Okay. Carol Guevara is saying no. Do you agree? Oh, Rich, do the poll.
Do you agree with the St. Anthony's Roman Catholic Church's imposition of a dress code banning naked shoulders, legs, and cleavage? That's our poll this morning. 222-8255. North Americans, 866-525-1099. You can WhatsApp us at 868-318-1021, 318-1021. And of course, you can send your votes via the comment section on YouTube, Facebook, and LinkedIn. That's our poll this morning.
Virginia Blake says, yes, I agree. Ish out in Malik says yes. Pearl Cordes says no. Julia S. Batiste says yes. Wendy and James, a big fat no. Cynthia Ramsroot says yes. On WhatsApp, Cascade St. Anne says yes. Someone says good morning and yes. I've got Suju. Good morning, Suju, saying yes. All right.
Steve, are you hearing us?
Yeah. No.
You're
no.
talking over everybody.
No, I'm not hearing nothing.
But you answer me, don't you?
I don't know what you're talking about.
We were talking over all of us just now, so we were wondering if you were hearing us.
I don't think
And
at that point you
we're
was
not
here.
usually talking over police.
What happened is
I
that
think you were
Richard,
hearing us just now.
yeah, Richard
Queen
was
B
given.
says no to the poll.
Are you hearing me, Steve?
Somebody says, good morning, Steve. Yes, I agree.
Okay, I give up.
Me too.
Did you do
So you
Wendy?
Wendell, congrats to that wonderful decorations by the Port of Spain City Council. I know you're not on the City Council anymore.
I don't know why you're telling me congrats, sir.
But you posted the video, not so?
Yes, because I
Yeah.
got it from someone, so I posted it.
Yeah, so it looks beautiful in terms of decorating downtown Port of Spain. I don't know what the hell is going on in Arima. Arima, you frustrate me. And like we exchange, I don't know what the Arima Borough Council is doing. I don't want to be overly critical because I know all in new, but I don't want to think that we exchange BIM for BAM.
Bim
All
for
right, we have a
Bali.
call. Don't even talk about Bali, yes? Good morning.
Good morning, gentlemen. Sandy Grandy, yes.
All right, Grandy, thank you.
Bali here blacker than everybody here, yes?
Boy Bedesi says yes. Karen Yipnow says yes. Mogan says yes. Pearl Cordis, my vote is yes.
She changed her vote. She voted no early on.
All right, we'll change that then. Good morning, Lorna. Morning, Indy. Kali. Yes, I agree. Good morning, caller.
Good morning, gentlemen.
Morning.
I say yes, and Paul don't think any, you know. But on my Alexa, they long early. I lie down here and listen to you. Paul, you gonna carry the rooster. Hmm? It's really cold. I'm still under my PNM blanket.
That's where I left.
I know, and I was pulling you back where you wouldn't stay. I don't know why.
No, I didn't do what I was doing.
It's all the money you're taking home, so I don't know where you're running. Anyhow, I still choose sitting in this coolness.
Your fireplace is burn plenty fuel in. Your fireplace like it can't get enough fuel. As you put some fuel in it, you know, the fuel done.
The jets are them cleaning.
Yeah.
But Zena, what do you think about our poll?
Yeah. What I answered.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Oh, she did?
But
Okay.
yes, you have some people would have set up big ugly skin having it outside and leave that for Carnival Day. And if you
what is a big ugly skin, Zena?
You're going out to fet and party, you wear your plunging clothes and your such damn right, you mad it is right. What you saying, what?
What is a big ugly skin?
Let's not go into detail. You imagine it.
All right. Thank you, Zena.
All right. Steve, how are you feeling today?
A little better than yesterday, but not 100%.
Okay, because I took a peek at you, you know, I see you all wrapped up.
Yeah, I keep my neck warm.
All right, good. Take care.
All righty.
Later.
Thank you.
You missed a set of votes on YouTube. I recorded them, but you need to call them.
All right. So Christian Sandiford says he didn't vote. Vaughn Drayton says yes. Ken Harlem says yes. Rena Boudou Jennings says yes. CJ in New York says good morning, Zena.
Yes,
all right.
CJ does crack up with Zena.
Yeah,
I got
boy out in DB saying yes. I've got someone saying yes. I've got okay, that is not a vote.
All right, Richard, do the poll again, please.
Well,
Do you
CJ
agree
said
with
yes.
Do you agree with the St. Anthony's Roman Catholic Church's imposition of a dress code like a government office and banning naked shoulders, legs, and cleavage?
That's our poll today. As we speed into the Parang and Christmas season.
Because when Jesus did several sermons, like Sermon on the Mount and the one when he gave the parables and talked about discipleship and stuff like that, of course there were ushers stopping people from coming in if they weren't dressed appropriately.
Big sign.
Yes, there was a big sign because Jesus make up a thing and say, hey, watch out people dressing when they come in to hear my Sermon on the Mount.
All right. Ron M.
Peter, you are head usher.
Ron M says yes. Ms. Maloney says yes. Augustus K2 says yes. Okay, that's it. All right, let's get into our major, shall we? Of course,
Evie. There are more problems than dress code. That's what I will say.
There are more problems than what?
Dress code.
Oh. Okay, let's get into our news. Evie is in.
This is your news bulletin from Power 102 Digital.
Soldier arrested as law enforcement officers accused of robbing family. The Commission of Inquiry into the Paria diving tragedy to convene sitting today. The UNC says it will contest all 41 seats in the next general election. And TNTech says systems in place for TGU's planned shutdown next Saturday and Sunday. Details in a moment. This is news at 7 o'clock on Power 102 Digital. I'm Avril Sindel-Bab. Good morning. 3 weeks after President Christine Kangulu called out 100 voluntary soldiers to allow the Defense Force to boost its support of the TNT Police Service in its fight against crime, investigators arrested a regiment private assigned to be part of joint patrols for his alleged involvement in the violent robbery of a Mayaro family. The 37-year-old, who is attached to the Komoto base, was on temporary duty at the Mayaro police station. His arrest came after one of his victims went to the station to give a statement and saw him there wearing his army uniform. A report stated that the family, who owns a hardware, was at home in Mafeking Village at 4:55 p.m. when a heavily tinted black SUV with blue swivel lights pulled up. 6 men, 1 in plain clothes, 2 in police tactical wear, and 3 in army uniforms, got out of the SUV. 2 had firearms. The men approached the house and told the 47-year-old homeowner that they were investigating a report of a house fire and came for surveillance footage. The homeowner allowed the men inside where his wife, 44, and son, 23, were. However, the men then announced a robbery and bound the family's hands and feet before robbing them of gold jewelry, cash, mobile phones, and their digital video recorder, all valued at $67,400. The men then left in the SUV. The family contacted Mayaro CID, and responding officers took them to the Mayaro District Health Facility for treatment. They subsequently went to the station to give a statement where one of the victims saw the private. He told the investigator, who then questioned and detained the soldier. Investigators were still searching for the others involved up to yesterday evening. The Commission of Inquiry into the Paria diving tragedy will convene a virtual sitting on Wednesday, November 22nd at 2 p.m. The commission said yesterday this will be its final sitting and it is not expected to last more than an hour. A source close to the commission confirmed the chairman is on track to deliver the report by this November 30th deadline. The source sought to allay any concerns this sitting was expected to be a request before or an announcement of another delay. Chairman Jerome Lynch has asked for several extensions before submitting the final report. Its original deadline of Easter was pushed back to August, then November. Lynch had said that he was ensuring all parties named in the report were given the opportunity to see how they were reflected and then allowed to respond. The Commission Secretariat noted a release council are not required to attend, but may choose to do so if they wish. Members of the public who wish to attend are asked to contact the Commission Secretariat on or before 4 p.m. on Monday, November 27th. The United National Congress says it will contest all 41 seats in the next general election. The party says nominations for that election will be opened by mid-December this year. The next general election is due in 2025. Political leader of the UNC, Kamala Persad-Bissess, on Monday night said as they move into an election year, she served notice that the UNC would open nominations for every single constituency. The UNC has not had a history of contesting the two Tobago seats and has always depended on an accommodation with parties other than the PNM. UNC has faced criticism from other political entities for not being a national party because it does not usually contest the two Tobago constituencies. This time around, the party says it is looking for candidates for the general elections, whether it is called in all 41 constituencies. Meanwhile, opposition leader Kamala Persad-Bissess says she remains willing to meet with Prime Minister Dr. Keith Rowley to talk about the crime crisis plaguing the country. Speaking at the UNC meeting on Monday at the Couva South Multipurpose Hall on Couva Main Road, Persad-Bissess said she does not understand why Dr. Rowley does not want to come to the table and lead the crime talks between the government and opposition. She noted that even before President Christine Kangaloo made the call for them to work together, she had written to Dr. Rowley calling on him to meet and talk. She said the Prime Minister wrote to her and kept changing the conditions of the meeting, eventually saying his team would comprise 5 members and discussions will focus only on legislation. She said if this was the case, then legislation can be dealt with in the Parliament. TNTAC is assuring it has sufficient capacity to cover the load during Trinidad Generation Unlimited scheduled plant shutdown from Saturday to Sunday. This shutdown is to facilitate critical upgrade work and is expected to take place during the hours of 10 p.m. on Saturday to 9 a.m. on Sunday. TNTAC CEO Curtis Francois told the Power Breakfast Show yesterday that there are 2 other independent power producers, PowerGen and Contour Global Trinity Power, and they will provide the required capacity to satisfy the expected load demand of the island during those hours. However, should these IPP suffer any loss of generation during TGU shutdown, it will result in TNTAC having to load shed and consequently a temporary loss of electricity supply to some customers. Mr. Francois also provided some details on how the process will unfold.
There's a low likelihood, so it is not likely to happen. It is really a low probability. So we're saying in the event that low probability event is to happen, some customers may lose supply, but based on the timing of it, we would have sufficient spinning reserve to cover even if that happens. So that's why we're saying that customers may lose supply, but not necessarily. So even if they lose supply, we would try to bring up supply much before, because the load tends to be dropping in the wee hours of the morning. The load itself is dropping until about 6, 7, and then it starts to rise again. So there's a point in time where customers will all get back supply even before the event is declared.
You are listening to news on Power 102 Digital to 7 o'clock. Senior national men's football team coach Angus Eve has admitted that having players from various clubs and trying to get them to form a synergy could be a difficult process. However, he says staying focused is vital to ensure the players are on the same level of understanding in terms of football style and play, which will be executed on the field. Trinidad and Tobago is ranked in 98th on the FIFA ranking. The team moved from 104th in 2021. Speaking during an interview on the Power Breakfast program on Power 102 Digital on Tuesday, Mr. Eve was questioned on how difficult it was to put the team together and coach them as one to unite. He gave details into what happens on the international level as clubs form unique ways to bond and excel in their play and gain a better knowledge of each other.
it is difficult. Like a club, if you're coaching Man City, Manchester United, you have your players all year round. You have them in a preseason. You have them, if you buy a player, you have them 6 weeks together in a preseason. They will do living camps and stuff, so you get to know them. You train them every day.
Mr. Eve then spoke about factors which are considered when a national team is in preparation for their games.
With a national team, you just have windows. Our window start is about 10 days, every window is, and it's usually about 3 days before the first match in the window, and then you have a couple of days in between, and you have the next match. So we have to be very precise. I mean, the work that we want to do, we have to know, do our homework beforehand, the system that we want the boys to play in. So, and if you know all of these things and the opposition that you're playing against, you then really home in and focus on the individual role and function within the group.
Straight into weather news for the period today till midnight. Trinidad and Tobago, partly cloudy spells accompanied by occasional showers will likely interrupt sunshine. There's also a low chance that the odd shower would become heavy. Mostly settled night. In the event of the heavier showers, gusty winds and street flooding are possible. Remember, hazardous seas alert yellow level is in effect until 10 a.m. today. Look out for a forecast maximum temperature of 31 degrees Celsius at Piarco International Airport and 32 degrees Celsius at Crown Point in Tobago. It is 25 degrees Celsius presently at Piarco and 26 at Crown Point. Recapping your headlines to 7 o'clock. Soldier arrested as law enforcement officers accused of robbing family. The Commission of Inquiry into the Paria diving tragedy to convene sitting next Wednesday. The UNC says it will contest all 41 seats in the next general election. And TNTAG says systems in place for TGU's plant shutdown from this Saturday and Sunday. I'm Afril Sintelbab. That was news to 7 o'clock on Power 102 Digital. Look out for more news in detail at 12 noon today and an update coming your way at 8 o'clock this morning. For more details, log on to power102fm.com.
Legislation sets the tone for how we treat each other as a society. It provides those boundaries and the expectations, and it also upholds the rights of all of the citizens.
Legislation is important for everyone in society as it sets rules and regulations that create an organized, safe and fair environment in which everyone is equal.
They form the opinion that because you have a disability, that you are somehow unintelligent, stupid, ridiculously asinine, you name it. So legislation is quite important, and I hope that legislation is soon coming so that people with disabilities can be who they are. People first, disabilities after.
That's where you got your heavy spots. Of course, if you're heading through Point of Pierre to Claxton Bay, you've also got some traffic. All right, gentlemen, let's get the results of our morning poll. I do believe I have some votes for you. I have got 100 yes from someone. Okay. We got Maria Celia saying yes.
And Beefy Smith said yes too.
Yeah, Beefy Smith said yes. And that's it.
Yeah, I got those. All right, so just as I thought, we had a lot of participation in this poll.
Trini Bree says yes.
Sorry? Trini Bree.
Trini Bree says yes, yeah. All right.
Our question was, do you agree with the St. Anthony's Roman Catholic Church's imposition of a dress code banning naked shoulders, legs, and cleavage? I'm not sure what they mean by legs, though. Well, is it that they want dresses below the knee? I'm not sure what they mean.
Becoming very short skirts, so I guess that's what they're talking about.
People actually go to church in a short skirt?
Yeah.
Okay, I've never seen that one. I've seen the bare shoulders. As a matter of fact, in a funeral this week, I saw bare shoulders in St. James Catholic Church, and I didn't see the priest make a fuss. Anyway, we had 31 people saying yes, they agree with the ban, and 9 saying no. 31 said yes, they agree with the ban by the St. Anthony's Roman Catholic Church, and 9 saying no. Well, that's a clear.
I have no problem with the church imposing their rules and regulations.
Me neither.
I just want them to deal with all measures of egregious behavior equally.
Well, you know that thing, well.
Inside and outside.
They've made efforts to deal with that. I have
inside and outside the church. That's what I would say.
Mm-hmm.
No cherry pick. Give it all. Give it all. And you'll be fine.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I know that has been an issue in a Roman Catholic church before. I've never heard it in other churches. Although I think in most other churches, most people go to church properly dressed, you know. I don't know.
Exactly. The vast majority of people are going to dress accordingly. And last time I checked, there is a decline in attendance at Catholic churches. So you should be glad if the girl with the short skirt coming in. Quite frankly. Because she might put in $5 in the donation box that you didn't have before.
Hello, were you saying that with that kind of attitude?
Oh, did I? Really? Okay.
That is not what the church is about. But I agree. I agree.
Well, really, what is it about then?
No, well,
because if it is about saving people's souls or making sure that people are on the right path, but you're already putting up barriers to them, and it's barriers and it's really a barrier to catch a minority.
True.
A minority. So I mean, just welcome all. Churches have always been places historically to welcome all.
That's true. And you could do it discreetly. But some priests embarrass people, and that I have a problem with. I've walked out of churches already where pastors, well, that would have been the Pentecostal church, to me, embarrass people, I got up and walked out, and he wasn't speaking to me yet because I wasn't embarrassed, but I've walked out because I thought it was an inappropriate comment to make to people who you want to come to the church to be saved. You understand? You want people to come to church to be saved. So why would you make comments that clearly embarrasses people? I've walked out of churches for that. But
churches should be safe spaces, not so?
Yep. Yeah.
You would.
And as I said, on average, most people dress decently to go to church.
Exactly. It's a minority that may be a little excessive. That's their personality, and you just go with the flow. What you believe? The priest feel that he'll be distracted? What? He feel that Jesus will be upset? I think Jesus is a little bit more liberal about things like that. I don't think Jesus is going to be, or the Holy Spirit going to come down on the church and slam the door shut and say, I want to deal with everybody here. No. That's me. Maybe I'm too liberal.
But who's the priest down at St. Anthony's, though?
I don't know.
It's probably one of the older priests.
Not necessarily, all the people who said yes weren't older. Conservatism is not dead. Trust me.
I find it's convenient conservatism.
Yeah. Even though some people will say that's not really conservatism. But anyway, when it comes to people's faith and belief systems, tread lightly.
Exactly. I have no problem with the church imposing its standards. I have no problem with that. But I also think that if someone who is lost and forlorn and who may, for whatever reason, be deemed to be dressed inappropriately, I think the church should welcome them and offer them some sort of covering and counsel them.
You shall not pass.
Well, I went to St. Mary's Catholic Church last Friday to a funeral of what we will call a local Trinidad white. right? That was the funeral of a local Trinidad white. And so there were a lot of local Trinidad white people there, high color people, you know what I mean? At that funeral. And I saw some with their shoulders exposed and some with their shoulders covered with scarves. And I didn't see any issue with it. You know, I don't know that the priest had an issue with it either. You understand? So it's I guess it's subjective.
Of course it is.
Don't be distracting the people from doing the work. Once you got leg and cleavage and shoulder, all the people go focus.
Bring your pashmina, because most of those regulations are ready for women. Eh?
Yes,
exactly.
That is true. That is true.
It's ready for women.
That
It's
is
not for
true.
men.
Yeah. They ain't talking about men with the shirt button down, and it's primarily for women.
It's for women. Yeah.
Or me wearing short pants.
Get your pashmina and make sure your pashmina in your purse.
But it has some women, regardless of what they do, they can't hide their cleavage.
Okay. Thank you, Wendell.
I'm just saying that, you know, it really is, you have to accept that some people are certain ways and they can't do anything about their body structure.
Are you saying they're cleavage challenged?
I don't say it's not a challenge. I don't know that this is a challenge. That's how their body structure is.
They can design garments to cover anything.
Well, you better wear Muslim garb then. On all churches.
No, there's nothing in Muslim garb. You can have a fully neck up to neck blouse with taffeta, light diaphanous material covering. Only a hint, only a hint of the cleavage exposed. A light silk taffeta covering the bosom. Talk. We
were supposed to have a guest this morning, but we playing that since yesterday. So I don't know what's going on. So leaving it like that.
Women are under attack all how now. All how.
I don't consider women under attack.
We have lots of calls, so let's grab one. Good morning.
Good morning, Steve.
Morning.
Good morning, Dr. Paul.
Good morning,
Good morning, Richard, and good morning, Wendell.
Good morning,
Good morning.
I just got back internet, so I didn't hear anything this morning, but I just saw the question at the bottom of the screen. Well, I'm torn with that because I will tell you something. I want to say yes and I want to say no. I'll give you all a story. 25 years ago, I was invited to a wedding at the Malabar Alpha Church. So, with young people, she was a past student and she invited me to her wedding. And when the church, when it was at 4 o'clock, I know those days they have wedding 4 o'clock in the afternoon. We waited. Next thing, and it's not an Irish priest. Next thing, I didn't know he was a priest. He came and announced on the mic, I am not going to start this wedding until those people with inappropriate wear leave. So people started watching wrong, you know. As a young person, she was just 23 years old. I said, what should this man say? I was shocked, you know. Next thing you know, like 3/4 of the church was outside. 3/4 of that church. And I turn around.
Did you have to leave?
But I tell myself, so wait, nothing will happen. Do you know who were the most important people outside? All of her chief bridesmaids. All of them.
They had their shoulders uncovered.
Tiana, well, to tell you the truth, they are young, right? I admire young people wearing what they want. Shoulders uncovered or joke is like both sides of the shoulders, right? And very short. Very short, very short. So she had no bridesmaid to be there with the men, with the girls, were none. And then some of my friends who I went with, they had to leave too. I said, well, what is this? And the priest said, I am not tolerating those kind of in my church. And everybody was sad. The wedding was pretty sad instead of happy.
Because he felt he was doing the work of Jesus Christ and the work of the Lord.
Yeah, I
That's
find
what he felt. That's what he was. He feel.
something.
That's what he was. He feel.
But here what the priest said, he said, I told them to let their guests know that they have to dress appropriately.
Let me tell you what's stupid about that, my dear. Because I encountered, and Mrs. R, it is not a lie. Because I encountered something like that already. And all that happened is the groomsmen took their jackets off and covered the woman's shoulders.
Oh, yeah, that should have done. Yeah, they should have done that.
Because they know they've had on shirts and ties, and they took off the jackets and they covered the three bridesmaids' shoulders, and the ceremony continued. And the priest should have just asked for that to happen, not to spoil the people day.
Yeah, it was very spoiled. And you know, when we went to reception, it wasn't joyful. It wasn't happy.
Of course, it's spoil the people day. Okay, I have no problem with you insisting on your rules. Well, to me, all you say when you're, because you have to go to counseling with the priest before you get married in the Catholic Church. Is that not still standard?
Yeah.
If you have a requirement, see, listen to me. I know you're young. Make sure that your bridesmaid have pashminas or scarves to cover their shoulders. That's all. You know, wait till the day come and then don't seek a solution to make the people's most joyous day continue to be joyous. To ask the groomsmen to be gentlemen, take off your jackets and cover their shoulders.
Yeah, it was, and you know something.
Everybody from the church and God Church, yeah? God Church.
As this thought now, it was here to my eyes this morning when I saw that was what happened when I saw the thing on your screen, on the screen.
Oh, yeah.
I said, oh gosh, that's a game.
You know what's killing me? The hypocrisy. The hypocrisy is what killing me.
Yes, and even though my neighbors next door to me, right opposite my house, they are young girls, 14, 15, and 17. They go to a Catholic church in the area, and guess what? I talk about what they wear. When they live in an Saturday evening, don't make joke now. That's go to church with. It is short, and you know, for her, as a parent, as a conservative parent, her mother, the mother is, I find it so shocking to see her wearing that type of clothes. Children wearing that type of clothes to go to church. So I could see what the priest talking about in quality right opposite my house. Huh.
All right. Thank you.
Yeah, okay,
all righty. Lots of calls coming through. Good morning. Good morning.
Hi. Good
morning.
Yeah. I agree with the Catholic priest because I go to the Catholic church and I tell you, just the other day I saying that I said, but this is getting out of hand. The ridiculousness of the way people dress to come to church now, it's really getting out of hand, and some more priests need to do that. I remember one time Father Hezekiah told them I don't need or want to see their heart beaten because they come into church and they're going up for communion with all their breasts hanging out.
You see that particular name you call there of that priest? He wasn't easy, you know.
Yeah.
All righty. Thank you, dear. Have a good one.
He is one who shut down our church for that.
Morning, gentlemen.
Morning.
Morning.
I love this topic. Oh, boy. Boy, I know Father Hezekiah name would be called Lord. And Father Hezekiah was in Diego Martin. Let me tell all you. You see, in the, I think would have been late 70s, 80s, when Halter Top came in, Jesus, Father Hezekiah used to stand up by the door. And when you come, he used to say, not in the house of God. He put them, well, right now, a friend of mine who go there, she told me, they have ladies now who just have, I think, the shawls. She say, and when you come, I say, but wait, since Father Hezekiah talk about exposing your butt, they still have to be with shawl? You know, I don't understand how Father Hezekiah said, coming in the house of God. You know, I heard a lady say she grew up going to some church in Woodbrook, one in Catholic church. She said, and her grandmother used to say, you don't take your don't even wear armhole. I mean, that was in the 60s. Howdy, you know, the lady say. And you see that Saturday church? When Saturday church started, well, it get worse. Because people, this feel, I saw, now, let me tell you, it's not only in the Catholic church, eh? I go to the Anglican church and Jesus, you know what is shocking? You know, it's the older ones, the older people like from 50s up, is the one who, how the hell you could come to church in a tights? How? And you even have on a long top. You ain't have on a long top. Good Jesus. Nah, man. I tell you, it has some. You see them in the grocery, and when you come to church, you wonder, wait, that is how you're seeing them just how they dress when you meet them in True Value. You're seeing them in church the same way. This is madness. Man, listen, man, Father Hezekiah must be rolling and saying, Lord, all you're still going through that crap.
But that has to be very rare, you know. That it has to be
Rare?
very rare that people would not dress properly to go to a church. It has to be very rare.
Wendell, you try and go in a Catholic church on a Saturday and you go see what I'm talking about. See what I'm talking about. I tell you, it has gotten worse. I don't know if y'all could remember, there was a wedding up in Arima, in a church in Arima. This thing made papers. The bride was a member of the choir. And that same Father Hezekiah, he gone over the bride. Oh, I mean, listen, when I see some brides, then I know your dress, okay, you might have the little sweetheart neck. But as the lady said, the breast hanging out. What the hell is this? You could make a nice little, what they call it, whatever, the little cake thing, right? And when you reach in your reception, take it off and you could bare your body. Lord, I just feel sorry for some of them priests, you know. The temptation that is be getting, especially
What?
from some of them
You
brides.
feeling sorry for them? For temptation? But they're supposed to be able to resist that?
Well, no, but I mean, Wendell, you know, is that game that every Saturday you're doing a wedding and you're saying, do you?
Some people trying to kill two birds with one stone. They're going to church and then they're going on the avenue.
Oh God, man, Richard, it's ridiculous. I think if you have any respect for the church, no priest I have to tell you you're not supposed. You know, a lot of them this using the Bible. Rend your heart, and a lady, elderly lady, told me they're using that loosely. She said, and that is not with me. Rend your heart, not your garment. Rubbish. Learn to dress properly in the house of God. Father Hezekiah, I wish you could come and deal with this.
Jesus stood up. Jesus defended a prostitute. A
Thank
little
you.
loose sight about Jesus, but what kind of man Jesus was? He hung around with fishermen, and he stand up in front of a prostitute and said, "Ye without sin cast the first stone."
And everybody turn and walk away.
Yeah. So he wasn't conservative, eh? He was radical for his time, eh?
Well, you know, again, as I say, this can't be something that is so out of hand that it could be made into a public spectacle again. I don't know that people do that on purpose, and the odd person who do it, I mean, you could pull them aside quietly and talk. I don't know that it requires a public shaming of people, an embarrassment of people. It does not. You know? Oh, well,
Good
then
morning.
start a stall outside the church and sell pashmina and thing.
Yes.
Morning, Wendell.
Instead of selling the books and the tracks, sell pashmina.
Morning.
Morning, Mr. Patrick.
Good morning, Mr. Patrick.
Yeah, Fikan Richard, everybody.
Morning.
The lady was called from Aruka and talk about the Malabar Church. I see that happen right now, Malabar Church, some 20 years ago, that same lady. And the priest say, about the pulpit after the wedding ceremony, but with the same wedding, people went to take on pictures and he tell them they can't come up there. They holy, don't come there. Because they didn't dress appropriate, because the shoulders was out. I saw that in that wedding. Now, I have been to weddings in certain churches, like in Tobago, Adventist Church, they have things you can wear when you come by the church door and they realize they dress inappropriate. They have scarves to get over the shoulders. I saw it for myself.
A lot of churches have that.
And they give you to put it on your shoulders. Sometimes I go to the Adventist church.
And the minister and the elder them will be preaching about dress code in effect. Because I telling you, that's why people come to church. You want to know if they're going on the beach? How to dress? So is that issue going on a long time, and it's not a member who just
time, you're right, it's going on
it's a
too
member.
long.
It's a member who come into church for years. But you know, young people like to flaunt what they have, right? The cleavage, the low cut being by the breast, the high cut underwear with the tight dress, all them things in the church. But then you have to lead people until, as we say, people talk about the Holy Spirit will bring conviction. And you know them same people that just very appropriate after a while. So you have a way and all, him talk to the member. Him talk to the people. You have to plead with them. You can't make no hard and fast rule like the man in the Bible when he went in the place without the wedding garment. And when the couple find he came outside. You remember that story, right?
Yeah. But you can imagine, right? Someone going through a tough period in their life, right? And they decide they want to attend church to make that change in their life, right? And they walk in church that first day, dressed inappropriately as far as the church is concerned. The shoulders may be exposed or whatever. And they hear that announcement. You know, that person could go in such a terrible direction that you would have messed up somebody's life for good based on that one public embarrassment.
When there's a certain church, and when I go in the church, the deacon hold me and pull me back and tell me put my shirt in my pants.
Nah.
I tell him, I say, boss, you go and talk to your son now. Will you tell me put shirt in pants? This is the kind of thing that be going on in some churches, and there's a man that be on TikTok, they preaching them things. It's a Jennings. They calling people prostitute and all kind of thing and harlot because of the dress. You can't be doing them things.
I've heard him.
You can't be doing them things. So that issue that's going on a long time. Now, the police and the soldier. This is not the first time people went and do identification parade and point on police and soldier in police station.
Mm-hmm.
It happens already. It happened in Valencia, it happened in Grandi. People get robbed, and when they went to make report, the policeman behind the desk.
All right, Mr. Patrick. You know, Paul, culture and tradition is a hell of a thing, you know. Paul just came from Ghana. You know, the tradition in the Ashanti tradition is that you have to expose your shoulders when you're around the king and so on. Because if you cover it up, it is an act of an aggression. You have to have your shoulders exposed. That's culture and tradition.
It's in Ghana, though.
I know, but it's the Ashanti. It's an Ashanti tradition.
Culturally different environment.
Yeah. Good morning, caller.
Good morning again.
Morning.
And when they let up countries in Africa, an old aunt of mine told me she went somewhere and one of her daughters got married, and they found it strange she was so well clothed because they walking about bare-breasted.
Yes,
so
that happens.
To say it's culture, but let me tell you something. You say, but it's a priest. That shouldn't happen. That, but about the temptation that he should be able to manage that. Let me tell you something. He's a man. It's not Jesus Christ walking youth or in the churches, right? So temptation is real.
But you can't avoid the temptation. You have to be strong against it.
He's still a man. All right.
You can't see things and leave it alone.
He is still a man.
So you can't put it in front of him trouble because you break his vows.
Roosters walking about.
But I am not a priest and I'm never tempted.
Let me ask you something. The priest don't go in the grocery.
Why? What?
The priest don't go in the grocery. The priest stay in church all the time. So when he sees in the grocery, you leave it alone, but you can't leave it alone in the church. Look, Zina.
That's a good point, Paul.
The priest staying in church all the time. He's not walking down the road. He's not going in the grocery. He's not going in the market and seeing breast and leg and thing. Look, ease me up, eh? Ease me up.
Is house of the Lord.
It's only in the church he's get tempted, right?
Only the church is a man.
The Catholic Church went in the middle of all the so-called sinners at Carnival, you know, and they ain't touch nobody, as far as I know. Well, you get shut down there. Done with that will talk. Yeah, you lost the argument.
But
you see, people often put on themselves that they know how quickly God is disrespected because they speak for God. So they always know when God is disrespected and how easily and sensitive God is to disrespect.
No, I have no problem with the church enforcing their standards. But my issue is how you enforce your standard.
God is offended and he has sent that message.
No, well, it have some
Trying to keep quiet, they don't rile me up.
It have some churches that really go to the extreme, you know, because it have churches, some of the what we call churches.
Mrs. R is the Lord House. It wasn't the Lord House when decades ago there was indifferent people. Some of them. It wasn't the Lord House then. Look, or you don't stop. Stop.
Yeah, no, some people can wear nail polish and earrings and that kind of thing. You know. So some of them really go to the extreme, but oh God, there's a different place for everything. You know, when you go into a fete and when you
I agree. But sometimes people who may not be regular parishioners may wander in looking for salvation and need to be treated a particular way, not judgmentally, but say, listen, our rules are X and Y. Can we offer you a pashmina or a scarf to cover your legs and your shoulder? Not just throw people, you come for salvation. Be embraced and guided, not chastised and shunned. That is not what I understand Jesus did at all. And me know that no priest better than Jesus Christ.
Take win. Anyhow, you didn't know, you recognize, I don't know how Richard stayed silent when the lady who is Miss Aruka was talking. I hear you calling her Mrs. R. I don't think I heard Mrs. R for the morning.
No, she on the chat strong this morning, defending some of the nonsense.
Oh, okay. I thought it was talking.
And that's, yes, I must go there, Mrs. R, because that's part of the history.
She attended, so
if you want to talk about sin and wrongdoing, and I have, as I said over and over, I have no problem with the Catholic Church or any other institution enforcing its standard. That is their right. But it's not what you do, it's how you do it.
I like the culture comment.
All right. Yeah, see that. All right. Okay, thank you, Zena.
I'll deal with Wendell another day.
Read it, Wendell.
The culture, right. Some men cutting out the circulation, but they ain't telling them nothing.
Yeah. Tight pants they wear.
You can't sneeze. But once you talk about religion and religious practices, you're going to have people polarizing points of view. My issue is not what you do, it's how you do it.
Right.
The church has a right to enforce its standards. I have no problem with that. But don't do it in a judgmental, derogatory way where you're throwing out people as opposed to embracing them and guiding them along what you think is the right way. Right? You don't let a whole wedding party come in to celebrate a very joyous day for a young couple who are doing the right thing and getting married. You want them to get married, right? And because the bridesmaid, first of all, they should have been guided as to what the dress code is in the consultation before the marriage, because that's what the Catholic Church does. Am I wrong?
Yeah.
And say, listen to me, there's a dress code involved here. If you have your outfit, design it, but make sure you have on your pashminas and things when you come into the church. You understand? Because if your bridesmaid making dresses, they could factor that into the equation, right?
Yes.
And if the skirts are short, make sure that you have scarves to cover the woman's legs, because Richard is right. All of it is directed at women.
Yes, all directed at women.
Yeah. All directed at women. But have a conversation before. Anyway, I'm going to say something that I get in real trouble.
No, let's provoke the conversation this morning. Look, Roger T is saying he just came from the Vatican and all the paintings in the Vatican are naked paintings.
And the statues of Jesus Christ on the cross, which is a very sacred image. He's in a loincloth.
Yeah.
I'm not saying we should follow that. You understand? That's a particular context. But as I said before, if you have a dress code that you want to enforce, there's a way to do that.
Yeah.
Without embarrassing or shunning people from the church. You want to embrace and welcome people into the church and guide them along the right path.
Yep.
Not you, don't come here.
Yep. You know what that reminds me of? That reminds me of on the other side of the spectrum, where there were people who own nightclubs standing on the steps, pointing and saying, "All right, you could come. You can't come. You come." I witnessed that with my own two eyes when I went to Club Coconuts and I carried my nephews and them there. You understand? And I say, I am not tolerating
that happens at all the club. I don't know if that still happens, but
I'm just saying that used to be a regular thing. I don't know if it still happens because I don't go to club.
No,
but
that didn't
saw
happen
that
at
with
all
my own
clubs.
two eyes.
No.
Zen was known for that. The
Zen
base
was known
nightclub
for
in thing was known. Genesis nightclub was known for that.
Yep.
There were several names that were known for
A
that kind
completely
of
different conversation, though. I don't know how it's
that is. Good
No,
morning,
I'm just
caller.
saying, that's why I said on the other side of the spectrum, it was about people saying, I don't want
that was about discrimination, and that's a different conversation. This is not discrimination.
Well, in a way it is, eh?
No, it's
Yes,
not.
good morning to the breakfast crew.
Morning.
Yes. Religion promotes fear, limitation, and negativity. Spirituality is understanding that you are connected to everything in the world. So the fear is man-made. I hope you guys get the drift of what I'm trying to say. Have a blessed day, guys.
Religion. Some people assert that religion is about power and control.
It is?
Yeah, that is no secret.
Historically,
Yeah.
it has always been, and
It's
that's why
about
there's,
power.
and
The
that's why
Vatican is
historically,
the
there's
Vatican is a
often
state
been,
within a state, you know.
historically, there's often been an overlap between religion and politics. You still see it in theocracies like Iran, where you have moral police that tells women how they can dress and how they cannot dress, and where you have an upsurge of women defying the moral police right now, like never before. And because there's been historically, you had that overlap between religion and politics. In Western democracies, that's where the separation of church and state came.
A man invented a whole church because he wanted to do what you want.
Yeah. We have a call here. Good morning.
Good morning. With respect to this particular topic, I don't see anybody having the moral authority to question the church on how they decide to enforce a tradition or culture. If they feel to put up signs, that is their prerogative. Everybody deals with a situation.
That's not the church, that's the priest.
The priest, okay, the priest. The priest decides to put up signs. That's how he decides to get his message across. And you already talk about some of you about if somebody wandering on salvation or that. That's a far-fetched topic. But one person have to come in dressed inappropriately one day and they want salvation and they see this and they get turned away. That's a far-fetched talk. I don't agree with that. If the priest decides that it happens every week in his church and he wants to put up signs and say, listen, to prevent him having to embarrass his parishioners in public, he puts up the sign and he's doing it the correct way. He says, listen, you put up signs and don't have to select anything in public. So he's doing it in the correct way. I don't see anything with that because guess what? I came to get a birth paper in Trinidad and Tobago and they put me out. A birth paper, not in a Catholic church, a birth paper downtown Port of Spain, and they put me out of the office. And you're all worried about what the church doing. I think you all should go.
No, big guy, you can't get away with that because we are also against that stupid rule. we are also against that stupid rule in public buildings too. So don't go there.
I understand. So I understand. Yeah, you said so. You said so last time also. I agree. You did say that. All right. But the priest is doing it this way to avoid having to embarrass anybody in public, and that's the way you all should look at that. And if that's how he decides to enforce a constitution that's there for 100 years, I give him all power to him, and whoever else does it, everybody. That's my take on it. All right, gentlemen. Have a great day.
Right.
Thank you, big
We
guy.
are not arguing against the churches or the priest rules, you know. We're just arguing against
religion has always enforced control over women more than men.
Correct.
Yeah. We have a call. Morning.
Yes, morning, gentlemen.
Good
You
morning.
know, this debate that, well, what the priest said, you know what I want to find out? How come those same people who will say, rend your heart, not your garment, and they feel they could go to church anyhow, how come they don't dress so when they go into the embassy? So the U.S. embassy is more sacred? That is sacred ground? Check when people going by the embassy, they just be in this Sunday best. They wear no slippers, no tricot. Listen, on your that is why the ministries had to start to put up sign, no this, because the way some people feel they could go in a government office, they will never, I repeat, never go dressed like that at the American embassy. You know why? They want to impress the officer. They want to get that visa to go to heaven. That's why they just dress properly. And
Well,
they will
getting a visa and getting a copy of your birth certificate is two different things.
No, but my point is,
and you pay taxes. You pay taxes to the Trinidad and Tobago government in terms of enjoying that service.
Richard, how you can go dress properly at the American embassy?
Because you pay taxes. Those government workers work for you. The U.S. embassy doesn't work for you. Even if you want to go down that road, the analogy is different.
I don't agree, because why it is you respect going to the embassy, you should go dressed just like how you just go in a
You
government
should have the
office.
freedom to do whatever you want in terms of that. And it's a minority of people who are going to be ridiculous. And what I'm saying is a government office, you are a citizen of this country and you are paying taxes. Whether you're paying VAT, whether you're paying income tax, you're paying taxes, you're entitled to get a birth certificate if you have to get a birth certificate.
Listen, I went to NICD once, and I didn't know they had, well, I just forget that is government. I had on, and it wasn't no flat slipper. It was a slip-on with, no strap. And the security watched me, and he said, ma'am, you can't come in here in a slipper. Well, I didn't want no argument because I wanted to go and collect my check. Thank God I had one of those croc in my car, and it have the strap behind. I just crossed the road. I parked right opposite. Get into my car, put it on, and cross back. And when I stepped in, I said, is this okay? And he said yes, and I was allowed to go in. I don't want to tell you, and this, and I paying tax. The man tell me, point, had the list out on by the door, no this, no harm. Oh my God. Man, listen, man, the Americans, they get in Trinis to dress properly when they come there, and they want to go dress anyhow. No, dress properly. You must know how you're going in the house of God. Hezekiah, man, he was a boss down here. You'll have a good day.
All right. Thank you.
Oh, dear.
Good morning.
Hey, morning.
Morning.
I want to challenge the lady who just called there and inform her. I challenge her that you could go in the U.S. embassy with your shoulders exposed, with her slippers, and they will never put you out. Because the U.S. don't care about them kind of thing. You understand? I wouldn't push it to short pants. But you could go for a visa application in a slippers, them slippers that just put you out for the government offices here, them nice sandals that women is wearing to go out with. You could go in that. You could go with your shoulders exposed in the U.S. embassy to get a visa. They don't care about these things. You understand?
You know, Lincoln, you know why I want to support you with that? Because the people at the door to the American embassy by the gate are Trinidadians, you know, MTS guards or whatever they are, you know. And they are the ones who make the fuss. The person behind that window ain't really care what you look like. What you look like, you know.
Yeah, they don't care. Once you know how yourself, here what they would know when you come in with. No cell phone. Leave your umbrella outside. But in
And again, all of those are local. All of those are locals dealing with that. It might be a rule of the embassy, but it's still locals dealing with that.
Correct. That is the only place that Trinidad security is saying that they don't care about your dress. But Trinidad, in a Trinidad establishment, in a local establishment, I see a woman get put on, a woman have a nice dress sandals, you know, going in to get a passport, and the MTS security tells she can't come in because she toes exposed. The woman toes so offensive, and the woman toes
Isn't that foolish? Isn't that just foolishness?
A woman has to go and buy a shawl because her shoulders exposed.
Oh God, I like how you say her toes are offensive.
It's so prehistoric and colonial and ancient and I don't know.
It's always against women.
Madam, your toes are offending me.
Thank you.
Get a couple of shoes, please.
I don't know.
Good morning.
Dealing with this, you know, it's always against women. All these nonsensical rules.
Oh God.
Morning,
Good
caller.
morning.
And women are some of the biggest advocates protecting it. Huh?
Yes, good morning, gentlemen. My point of view is that if the Bible says, come as you are, and I wake up one morning and I say, oh Lord, I'm going to give my life to the Lord because I feel convicted. And I go to the nearest church, and this is the nearest church with a sign on the door, and I look down at what I am wearing, a little denim skirt and a thin strap vest. Am I now to turn back and say, well, so do you say, come, welcome me. And then slowly, even through the sermon, you tell me about way of dressing, you take me through what true Christianity is. At least I look at it that way. A sign on the door means, you know, only some can enter, dependent on how you are dressed. Because when you see that, if you stand up in front and you say, well, I can't do that today, no? You go away. You never come back. You misunderstand.
You know what's interesting? This is one particular Catholic church. Is it a standard now across all Catholic churches? Is the question I would ask.
No, it is not.
But then go at the church along the road.
Thank you, caller.
Okay, bye.
Go by the church across in Petty Valley.
That's why it made news. Because
The
the sign, you don't see signs like that outside churches.
Anyway, once you talk about religion, people get very polarized.
Religion
Very
and politics.
See, I'm keeping quiet this morning.
And we have a bigger issue, you know. That
Yeah, I'm talking enough for you there. Don't worry.
That the UNC going and field 41 candidates, including 2 in Tobago. Or they don't think that's a big issue. Where they finding 2 UNC people in Tobago to contest election. All right, I do my distraction. All right. Who they going to put? Gary Griffith and Philip Alexander in Tobago? Come on.
Gary Griffith and Philip Alexander are members of the United National Congress. At this time?
You go find out just now.
At this time?
You go find out just now.
Presently?
You go find out.
But if that is the case, that Gary, who was very much espousing the only way into politics because of the stronghold of the PNM and the UNC is through a combination with another party, would have to think again for 2025.
All of them going right back there with the UNC. I bet you any among the money now. I bet you a plane ticket to Ghana. I know you like Ghana, you know.
I do.
I'll get a plane ticket to Ghana if they don't join the UNC. And if they join, you give me a plane ticket to Ghana.
I'm not engaging in that sort of arrangement with you, sir. Yeah, that's a loaded bet. It's loaded in your direction.
Oh,
Anyway, you
thanks.
have a wonderful day. Be safe. And remember to,
Let go and let God,
but dress properly.
but dress properly
When you're letting go.
when you let it go.
All
No,
right.
when you're letting God. When you're letting go, you can do what you want. Bye-bye,
Trinidad
guys.
and Tobago and our listeners, wherever you are across the planet, have a fantastic day. Whatever you decide to do today, it's Wednesday, it's midweek. Remember to smile and laugh. It's great for your health. Have a great one.
All right, guys. Thank